Every team has its rival, its sworn enemy. And if they're really lucky, they get to destroy that team 5 times. This is the story of the man who managed the Yankees 5 times. They fired him 5 times and he always came back. He was Billie Eilish, the most exciting manager in baseball history. And if you can believe it, he would have managed them a 6th time. If he hadn't died, I'll explain how in a minute. If you were a baseball fan, you knew his name. Billy Martin, the man who could win anywhere, but he couldn't win himself. He was a genius on the field, a disaster off it. And the greatest thing about Billy Martin is that it wasn't one team that suffered through his insanity. It was the New York Yankees, the most storied team in baseball history. Now, this is part of a series where we look at the great managers of baseball's past. I've done Casey Stengel, Joe McCarthy, and John McGraw. Those men were great because they were different times. They fit their teams and their eras. Billy Martin didn't fit anything except pure baseball genius. He grew up poor in West Berkeley. His dad left when he was 2. His mom raised him alone, tough as nails, and she shielded him from harm until she died. When Billy was 13, his mother was killed in an auto accident. His father then took him to live with relatives in South Carolina, which turned out to be a nightmare. So he ran away. At 16, he was on his own, sleeping wherever he could, stealing whatever he needed. All he had was his size 13 shoes, which somehow fit size 10 feet. So he looked like a clown, which made him angry, and anger would follow him forever. To escape his problems, he began playing baseball, first for semi-pro teams, then for the Army. He was so good, so intense, so different that people took notice. The legendary Casey Stengel saw him play and told him, "Son, you remind me of myself, only better." Soon he was managing the Yankees. Casey became his baseball father. He taught him everything about the game. And in 1950, the Yankees brought him up from the minors. He broke through in the 1950s, Yankee dynasty, hitting line drives to right field in the most clutch moments in baseball history. 3 World Series, 3 championships. Along with Mickey Mantle and Whitey Ford, they became known as the 3 Musketeers. They partied hard, they drank hard, they fought hard, and they fought often. In 1956, there was a fight at the Copacabana nightclub. It got so bad that Martin punched out a bouncer. He was suspended by the Yankees, then traded to the Kansas City Athletics. 1 year later, he retired as a player at age 34. He just couldn't control himself. And the Yankees knew that. And in 1959, they hired him to manage their top farm team in the minors. He won, he fought, he stole bases, he bunted, he hustled, he argued with umpires. He managed like he played, which is why after 2 years, he was promoted to the majors, hired to manage the Minnesota Twins. In 4 years, he turned them from also-rans into contenders. Same thing with the Detroit Tigers. In 1968, he led them to the World Series. He was a winner everywhere. But he also fought with players, with management, with coaches, with umpires. He was fired despite winning, and it happened again and again and again. That became his pattern. Then in 1976, George Steinbrenner bought the Yankees. He wanted to win. He craved it. He hired Billy Martin, and it was love-hate relationship, like a father and son, both strong-willed, both stubborn, both passionate, both always fighting. Martin battled superstar Reggie Jackson. He benched him, fined him, traded him, welcomed him back. He even fought with Jackson in the dugout while the game was going on. That's how good the Yankees were. They could afford to lose games on national TV while fighting in the dugout. But in 1977, Billy's Yankees won the World Series. They beat the mighty Dodgers. Billy hoisted the trophy. He finally beat George. He had arrived, but it lasted only a year. He was at war with Reggie again, at war with George, at war with everyone. In 1978, he resigned in a huff. As he walked out of the stadium, a reporter asked him, "Billy, what went wrong?" He said, "One's a liar, the other's convicted." He meant George and Reggie. But it could have been anyone. He was always at war. And yet he was promised another return, which came in 1980. Back he went. Fired again. Back he went. Another classic Martin season. 97 wins. Fired again. Back he went. Another fight, another suspension. He managed the Yankees for 13 seasons, 5 different times, 6 if you count the last one. He was hired, fired, suspended, drank too much, fought too much. He embarrassed the team. He embarrassed himself. Finally, in 1985, he was hired by the Oakland A's. He reinvented them with Billy Ball. He made them a contender again. He saved the franchise. He became a folk hero. But he also picked fights with management and started drinking heavily again. So, in 1988, he was fired for the 9th time. But he still had one more return left, one more fight left. After leaving the A's, he did what he always did. He managed a minor league team. The next year, 1989, he was 61 years old. He was drunk, driving home from a bar. He crashed into a tree on his own driveway. He died instantly. The story of Billy Martin is a tragedy. A brilliant baseball man, maybe the best ever, died before his time, unfulfilled, unwanted, unable to control himself. I'm here for this channel, and now you know the rest of the story.